Well, today is Indigenous Peoples Day, a holiday that honors Indigenous American people and commemorates their history and culture. So today we thought, why not get a taste of that culture? Literally, I feel like food is the best way to learn about other people. And joining me is Chef Alexis Chingman Chijurina and Rosebud Schneider. Both are part of the Anishinaabe tribe. Thank you both so much for being with us. So first, I'm going to start with this, ladies. Can you share your affiliations with the tribes?
Sure.
Sure.
You want to go first?
Yes, I am enrolled with the Nottawasepi Huron Band of the Potawatomi, which our reservation is in Athens, Michigan. That's near to Battle Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm an enrolled citizen of the Lakota Band of Lake Superior Chippewas in northern Wisconsin, but I've grown up here in Detroit.
Okay. So let's talk about Native American cuisine. How would you describe it?
Well, it is hard to describe in one word, but when we talk about indigenous cuisine, we think about the foods that our ancestors ate, and we think about specifically foods before pre-colonial contact, and a lot of that is corn, beans, and squash. We fished, we hunted, we gathered, we lived off the land. So the really wonderful thing is that there's food all around us, so getting in touch with what's edible and what's ready to eat by the season.
That's really cool when you think about it, right?
is.
You work with what's there and turn it into something amazing. Now, Rosebud, we understand that you are also a farmer and growing in Detroit.
Yeah. Very cool.
And you are employing some Native American practices in this. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'm a farmer at Keep Growing Detroit here in the city. We are a nonprofit farm focused on food sovereignty in the city. So we really want to see a majority of fruits and vegetables consumed by Detroiters that were grown by Detroiters in Detroit. So we do that many different ways. And I'm lucky enough to be called a farmer there. And this year, you know, it's all organic growing, so we don't use any pesticides or anything like that. But we added in a Three Sisters garden this year, which we used specifically indigenous variety of seeds that we have been cultivating and caring for. So this is what we have today.
This is
Very
cool.
awesome.
And Taya noticed the tomatoes. We were both kind of swooning over those when we got started.
They look beautiful.
They do. And you grew those.
So yeah, everything came from the farm.
All right,
That's
well,
amazing.
Speaking of the Three Sisters, you brought in a dish made with those ingredients. Tell us about it.
Yeah, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so the Three Sisters are corns, bean, and squash, and when they're eaten together, they provide like the complete protein that you need. So you don't need to have animal protein to get all the nutrients you need when you're eating this way. And so it's kind of like the companion planting method is what she's mentioning with the Three Sisters garden. And so they grow really well together. So that's kind of one of the things too. Things that grow together like are good together for us to eat too.
That is interesting.
Doesn't that make so much sense?
It does.
Yeah,
Wow.
so when you plant the corn grows tall, and then when you plant the beans use the corn as a support to trellis around the corn,
Okay.
and the beans add nitrogen to the soil that the corn needs.
Look at
and
that.
then when you plant the squash, it grows out and it keeps weed pressure down and keeps pests out.
That is amazing.
That's amazing. There's a method to all this. So what dish are you going to make for us today?
So we're going to do a wild rice salad. We have some fresh greens from the farm and some wild rice with cranberries and apples.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right.
So when you say wild greens, what are wild greens?
Well, they're not wild greens. They're just greens from the farm. So
Okay,
these are different kinds of kales that Rosebud grew. And we're just going to mix them together and then serve it like that.
And the wild rice this wild rice traveled a long way to be with us today. It came from Mille Lacs. Is that Minnesota?
Minnesota, yeah.
So it's hand harvested.
Wow.
And so we cook that and then toss that with some really great ramp oil that we've had, and then tossed it with cranberries and apple.
I was going to ask, what else was in the rice?
Yeah.
It looks like pieces of other things. Cranberries.
Yep. So roasted apples and cranberries.
Very nice.
And so these are things that you can find in this fall season right now. You know, that's the other thing. Like, things taste the best when it's in
In the
season.
Yeah, that does
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
And really quickly, you're both part of an organization, Make Food Not Waste. Tell us about the mission of that organization and how people can help really quickly.
Yeah, so Make Food Not Waste is an organization that fights food waste. So we intercept food from farmers markets, grocery stores, and local producers, and food that they would normally throw out. We save it and use it to make meals that we distribute in the city.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being with us this
Yeah,
morning.
thanks for having us.
And we will post the recipe for the wild rice salad on clickondetroit.com following the show.